Hi, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday, and this is actually a very special episode and a very special Friday because I have a very special co-host right here in the studio with me. You guys know him as the one and only Bobby Stills, the postman. What's up, Bobby? Happy Friday.
Hi, Trey. This is awkward for me. Usually it's Omari Salisbury. Today, this is my Omari Salisbury look-alike outfit here. But yes, I am the postman. For you viewers out there who do not know me, I work here. I'm a producer, and today I'm filling in as your co-host. So thank you for allowing me to share this space with you.
Absolutely. You know what? And thanks for all you do, man. Bobby, you're always behind the scenes making things happen, man. And we appreciate you. I'll say this too. Bobby makes sure our audio is on point on a daily, y'all. So thank you, Bobby. I know we got a great show lined up today. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So today we got a couple different things we're covering. We got a couple of live guests. It is Black Awareness Week, Transgender Awareness Week. And so we have Nicole and Perry from the Washington Black Trans Task Force. We're going to be talking to Aaron Jones and Shayna Shepherd about the Smash fundraiser concert. And then finally, we have Tony B from Rainier Avenue Radio. They're going to be doing a food giveaway this Saturday. Let's go with the first story. So I've been trying to covering the story a little bit. Will you bring that up, Oya? It's from Crosscut.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the CDC. Sorry. So the CDC announced new travel restrictions for the United States of America. We were actually supposed to travel to Tanzania this week, the crew here at Converge, but we decided it best not to travel. I know Thanksgiving is coming up, and a lot of people were planning on traveling for Thanksgiving, but the CDC is recommending it, and so we decided to do our part and kind of stay here. Were you planning on going out of town?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think so many people are making adjustments right now. I think one of the big things to note about these travel restrictions is that if you are traveling, what they're saying is when you return home, you need to quarantine for those 14 days. And I think that has a lot of people wondering if they should even travel right now, because making that kind of commitment to travel, and then you need to commit to stay inside when you get home. So yeah, it's causing a lot of people to change their plans. I know for me, we're planning to do everything very low key this year, right? There's so much of COVID is on the rise. So I was just explaining that to the boys that, look, no, you can't go play basketball. No, we're not going anywhere for Thanksgiving, right? So this is a new wave, and we're all making adjustments, Bobby.
Yeah, I know that they're recommending that if you travel outside of the state of Washington and you come back, it is a self-quarantine for 14 days. I did mention to Omari and some other coworkers, I've been talking with a friend up in Canada, and they are on full lockdown. So absolutely no travel, and a 2-person bubble.
Wow.
So I don't think I've read anything from the United States about your COVID bubble. We all work pretty close here, and so you guys are part of our COVID bubble. We try to social distance here in the studio, which is we try very hard to, but yeah, I mean, everybody's got to do their part. So right. Thanksgiving might be tough this year, but there's virtual Thanksgiving, right?
That's right.
I think I'm gonna try to come up with some alternatives for Turkey Day next week. Virtually.
It's also nice too because Zoom has lifted their 40-minute restriction for Thanksgiving.
Good point. I didn't see
that. you can do a Zoom giving this year, and Zoom is being very generous with their platform and saying, look, all free accounts on Thanksgiving Day will be able to be unlimited time. Yeah. So you can be with your family for several hours. You can have people popping in. So I think that this is another way to bring people together, when your family's so spread out all over the place.
You fight with your cousins virtually.
There you go.
Next story is going to be the pandemic streets one. I'd actually kind of been working on this story a little bit. I made some phone calls and stuff to SDOT. All you would put that up for me, please. This comes from Crosscut. So back in March and April, the SDOT and Seattle Green Spaces had started dedicating some streets and some greenways, closing them down to cars. Because of the pandemic, they wanted social distancing and stuff. And then also with some of the sidewalks being so narrow and stuff, they didn't want people to come in contact with each other. And so it was kind of a pilot program. We've seen this before, especially on Capitol Hill. I know they had shut down the streets on weekends and things of that nature, but a lot of the pilot programs went pretty well. So they went ahead and decided that they're going to try and keep it that way. There are some people that are opposed to it. And there are people, and let me see. So altogether, it's about 45 miles of neighborhood greenways in 16 different neighborhoods. Some neighborhoods are happy with that decision. Other neighborhoods aren't. I know one of the big ones that people were raising a tough about was Lake Washington Boulevard. So some of the neighbors there are happy because, they ride their bikes, kids can play in the streets. Other ones are upset because they can't get to the parking lots on Lake Washington. So yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I like how they've been shutting down the streets for small businesses to be able to put dining out safely out in the streets. But then again, it's wintertime now. And so, how are they going to upkeep that? And then with the restrictions on dining and stuff. But I personally like the program. But then again, my neighborhood is, it's pretty much streets that are open for dining and stuff. Have you noticed any of these around town?
I think you're right though too, because I think it really is about how it plays out in your neighborhood, right? And so I know that 25th was where I lived in the CD, and it is shut down, right? So one of the things I like is that they have the markers up there. So it's like, yeah, it's technically shut down. They don't want traffic going through the street, but if you live on that street, you need to park, whatever, the access is available. So I think it's a kind of a both and almost, right? Where it's like, hey, they're trying to do their part, but they're kind of keeping it open if you have to do that. And then you mentioned a certain area like Lake Washington Boulevard, that's very different, right? Yeah. So that feels completely shut down. It's not maneuverable in that same way. So yeah, I think there's a wide variety of, how people are addressing to this. But again, I think the city is trying to take precautions in terms of what else can we do to ensure that people are staying, distant, so that we can really try to make sure we have a handle on this virus. So I think, again, we're seeing a lot of innovative measures right now because this is so unprecedented for us.
Yeah, I applaud the city on trying new things. This is every day it's changing when it comes to the pandemic. And so they're kind of adjusting accordingly to it. Some things are working, some things aren't working. And you brought up a very good point that Crosscut actually mentions is that, on some streets, you got your kids playing in the streets, but yet there's still car access. So are they safe? But then other places, absolutely no access for cars. And then people are upset because they can't,
Bobby, you can't please everybody. You see that now.
I try. I do my best. All right. So speaking of the pandemic and businesses, Pike Place Market, they are trying to make sure and let everybody know that they still are open for business and they want you to come support. So they released a new commercial and let you guys take a look at it.
Everyone who visits Seattle knows about Pike Place Market, the home of salmon throwing, fresh produce, fresh flowers, and great local artists. But for us locals, we know Pike Place Market is also home to the very best of what Seattle has to offer, including amazing food, craft drinks, and spectacular views. So this fall, come explore, come discover, because this is our market.
Yeah, make sure to visit Pike Place Market. Yeah, everybody has a memory from Pike Place Market.
Yeah.
Do you shop down there often?
It's not often because I'm not in the city anymore. As even though I work here, I don't live here. So then buying certain things, I always want to go to the fish market or buying produce down there. And I'm like, how many hours is it going to be sitting in my car? So maybe not as frequent, but one of the things I love is being able to go there on a Saturday morning with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Go through. We almost always stop at Beecher's for a little cup of mac and cheese, and we share that because it's a part of the thing. We go next door. We get pastries. We try to all the businesses kind of just walking down, buy one thing from here, another thing from here, and we try it as a family. And that's something that me and my boys have done. And we actually were able to do that before the pandemic hit really hard. And that's a memory I cherish for sure. It's funny too, because my 6-year-old, he remembers it so vividly because he was getting all the treats. So he's like, when are we going back down there? I want more cookies and sweets. I'm like, look, I know we splurge when we go down there, but it really is about patroning the businesses. It's such a Seattle icon, you know?
I mean, I have a different perspective of Pike-Place Market because, I worked as I was a chef for almost 10 years and I worked predominantly in Belltown. And, I have some great relationships and some great friendships from the purveyors down there. My friend Pam, I think some people have met her here. Shout out Pam Watson. She worked at Frank's Produce. My friend Produce Boy, Jeff, they all deliver from the seafood places. And yeah, you get market discounts, the little trade secrets of being a local down there. I mean, it's something that really makes Seattle special and Pike-Place Market special is the relationship you have with the purveyors down there. I love going to the spice market down there. Yeah. It's amazing. So please support those guys. We don't want to see any of those guys, have to give up their stalls. Shout out to everybody at Pike-Place Market. We appreciate you, and we'll see everybody get through this.
Yeah. And one of the great things too is that it has less risk. I mean, there's a lot of ventilation. It's open, right? And so I just want to also suggest that too, that when you're thinking about, I want to get out, I want to just maybe take a walk. That's one of the great places to do so and stay safe.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch the Seahawks game last night?
Yeah. All snaps. The Seahawks did it, eh?
They did. Yeah. They won 28-21. Did you watch?
I only watched a little. Again, I was working until like 9. So I be missing a lot, but.
Did you notice anything different about the field?
Uh-oh. Tell me all about it.
Do you know what field they actually play in? What the name of the field is?
Yes.
What is it?
It is CenturyLink.
The Clink, yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
What?
Oh, yeah. Roll that clip, please.
A stadium in Seattle that today goes by a new name.
2020, once again reminding us that change is the only constant.
Oh, they're changing the name?
Yeah, it's going to be Lumen Field.
Lumen?
Yes, CenturyLink Field, the home of the Seahawks and Sounders, officially going by the name Lumen Field, a corporate rebranding for CenturyLink, who secured the naming rights through 2033.
If they keep playing the way it's going, I'd call it the toilet bowl.
Social media not too happy either. Fans brainstorming for nicknames. How about the Loom? And yes, of course, the Lou.
Sorry,
The Lou.
Oh, you got me. I mean, what in the world?
Oh, yeah, that's good comeback. Yeah, well, we're going to have the Lou. We're going to have the Crack House where the Kraken play. I mean, hopefully T-Mobile's new. I don't know. Let me just.
I don't like this.
Hey, Seattle's ever changing. So Lumen Technologies, right? So on September 14th, they actually announced their rebranding. So it's still CenturyLink. They just rebranded to Lumen Technologies. And so they decided, hey, get our name up there.
I think they should have did a poll. I'm going to say this right now. The public is so charged. They're so engaged with almost everything. I really, if I was them, I would have done a poll to the people of Seattle. Hey, what do you guys think? Do you guys love the Clink? Do you want to keep it the Clink? Do you guys want to embrace this new brand of ours, Lumen, and call it the Lou? They could have actually done a collaborative process. I know you're going to say that, but look, bring the community into this decision, man. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Do you have CenturyLink as your internet provider?
I don't.
Okay, then I don't really think they care about
them. No, see, that's the problem. They should care. Yeah. They should care.
Yeah, and speaking of small businesses out there in Seattle, I'm a small business owner. Lots of our friends are small business owners. The Seattle Met came out with a comprehensive list of some COVID relief resources. Will you put that up for us, Oya? All right, so if you visit seattlemet.com, they have a list of about 6 different sites you can go to for relief if you're a small business owner. There's some grants up there. Yeah, couple different things. And then if you're a worker, they have about 4 different resources for you to check in with them. And, hopefully we can keep small businesses afloat. I just want to remind everybody out there, do your part. I know that, the pandemic's going on and you're not supposed to go out and visit, but a lot of places are doing takeout, that not a lot of dine-in, but please support all small businesses. It's pretty sad walking around in Seattle and seeing places close. And I think it might have been Seattle Met that came out with a list that 150 different small businesses around Seattle have closed and are never going to open back up.
Yeah, this is exactly why. I mean, I loved being able to highlight the restaurants that we did while, when COVID was first striking. Clearly, Jerk Shack, our guy Trey Lamont down there, just really transforming his menu, his staff. Restaurateurs are having to adjust majorly. And so I agree with you. It's one of the things that I really do on a weekly basis is patron local businesses, especially small local restaurants. A lot of these restaurants are family owned. And so one of the things when you start talking to these owners, you realize, man, this is all the family is involved. They spend all their time in the restaurant. They spend all their time doing the prep. I mean, it is a full-on life. And so I agree with you, Bobby. Anything we can do to support those kinds of businesses and ensure that they are able to keep their doors open, please support them.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly second that. I think Converge does a really good job, and I'm proud to work here. We try to highlight small businesses, community-based organizations that, are family-owned. I really appreciate that. And I'd hate to see these places go away. So please, whatever you guys can do to support them, we'll put the link up for these resources. Holler at Nikki today. And then finally, it's Feel Good Friday. Yeah. And I think that's why I want to be on here because, I'm always feeling good. And what I feel good about is last night's verses. I won't even mention it. I'll just let Aya play the clip and then we will talk about it later.
What's up? Hey! Where your eyes at? Where you trying to eyes at? Where you at? Let's go. Eyes at. I'm so eyes at.
So icy.
So icy.
So icy. So that is Jeezy and Gucci Mane, 1017. Did you happen to catch the verses?
I didn't.
Did you hear about who won?
You know what? It was all over everything, but I didn't even see anybody declare an actual winner.
I think we all won. Okay.
Love that.
I think the best part about this, 20 years in the making. They've been beefing for 20 years. They spoke about it on the verses, and it's kind of that thing of where they're trying to, settle the beef, show the younger generation that, even though we have differences, there's been, all sorts of legal stuff behind their beef, and they squashed it, and they came together, and they did it at Magic City in Atlanta. A lot of people in attendance. I think this is the first verses that they actually featured on Apple TV. So it was started by Timberland and what's the other guy's name?
I forgot. But
Alicia Keys, Swiss Beats.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I did want to mention before we left this is that Travis Scott, man, a younger guy, he jumped on top of this so quick and was selling Jeezy versus Gucci Mane merch that fast. It sold out that quick. And I don't know if it's an official collaboration, but man, the hype beasts were all over it. And yeah.
Well, I'll say this. This is some of the things that I've absorbed about it after it aired yesterday was that the hip hop culture is such a driver, I think, for how people understand certain things around personal relationships, conflict. And it's funny how this particular kind of battle between them really played out in the public. I think so many people, watching this unfold for all of these years and actually being involved with all the mixtapes that were dropping, all the beefs that were happening, all the little slick lines in all the little songs, and people tying all of that together to understand the compilation of this beef. So that's what was so intriguing to me, was that so many people understood this beef on an intricate level, and it's like the fact that pop culture permeates our lived experience in that way. That's how I was absorbing it, right? I mean, I watched the Brandy versus Monica battle because I'm a Black girl, right? I mean, for me, they were everything. You know, they were both everything. And honestly, hearing so much chatter about this battle, seeing, you know, Jeezy on the Breakfast Club, I'm like, they have done a full-on gambit to understand the beef, how people can resolve it. To me, it was so beautiful because it's something you don't see enough between two Black men, two strong alpha males, right? That really have strong legacy in terms of their artistry on their own right. And also, too, I learned something because when you have two up and coming hip hop artists coming from like the same area, you know, there was some talk about how Gucci Mane was accredited because everybody's seen him out there and they knew who he was, and Jeezy, it wasn't necessarily the same, and he had some different kind of ties, but his music was popping. And so how it resonated with the people is so organic. So honestly, I love the fact that they were able to squash the beef and really showcase that. Squish the beef.
Squish the beef. Squish the beef.
But, you know, showcase that to everybody. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I actually heard him. He shouted out Waka Flocka in one of his raps, and he doesn't really do that. So hopefully we can hear him and Waka Flocka back on track together.